My name is Campbell Ingrahm, and I'm the Executive Officer of the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta Conservancy. So the two conundrums that really sort of keep me awake at night are concerns about being able to do restoration at the pace and scale that we need to keep up with the climate and biodiversity crises. The other conundrum that I've seen throughout my career is the challenge of maintaining focus and momentum and funding for restoration as programs come and go. This is typically a result of changing political leadership, changing climatic conditions like moving from drought to wet cycles. And again, here I'm encouraged that, with the objectives in the 30 by 30 Governor's Executive Order to conserve 30% by 2030, and also the nature-based solutions objectives, we now have statewide objectives that clearly articulate the work that needs to be done into the future, and we really haven't had that in the past. So I'm hopeful on both counts that we're making progress.
Carl Wilcox, California Department of Fish and Wildlife, retired policy advisor to the director for the Delta. The major conundrum I think about relative to restoration is what to do about the Delta, recognizing that it's vastly different from what it was historically, as shown by the work of the San Francisco Estuary Institute. They've also provided a roadmap of kind of how to do restoration and what it could look like. But many of the portions of the Delta, that's not going to be possible. So the big question is, what should restoration look like? I don't think there's any agreement about that. The Delta Reform Act called for water supply reliability and ecosystem restoration of the Delta, but didn't provide any specific guidance. So the big question now is sorting out what should that look like.
This is David Lewis, the Executive Director at Save the Bay. So our biggest challenge right now is ourselves and our habits, especially in the face of rapid climate change. Our restoration and environmental advocacy habits. We fought hard to protect individual endangered species and to stop individual development or protect habitat in particular places. But the planetary warming we've already baked in with greenhouse gas emissions, even if we stopped burning fossil fuels tomorrow, means there will be no tortoises in the California desert, for example. So well-intentioned laws like the Endangered Species Act and CEQA that made sense 50 years ago are now actually being used by environmental organizations to block environmental progress that's essential to stop even worse climate change, like solar and wind farms in the desert that can wean us off oil and gas. It's unfortunate but true that on urgently responding to the climate crisis, some environmental advocates are the biggest hurdle to our needed progress because of old thinking and old habits. So we've got to be willing to change our strategies, not just our talking points, if we're going to solve climate change and protect nature in the future.